So, BW Rosas Discussions, my podcast on Spotify and other podcast affiliates like iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, you name it, except for Pandora, is now officially monetizing. That's right. Now, what's crazy about this, and the reason why I always say at the end of my videos to support me with support my BW Rosas Discussions podcast on Spotify most of all, out of all the other affiliates, is because from a monetization perspective, it helps out a lot more. Now, apparently, according to what they said, what is being reported, is that when you listen more on Spotify, when your podcast in general is listened to more on Spotify, once you're able to monetize, that is, you will earn around $14 RPM every time, which means every time your podcast is listened to, whether it's your more recent episodes or past episodes, you may end up getting some money in return. How much that is, I do not know. But the catch is it's every 1,000 plays. So essentially, you may not see something right away, but over time you will. In fact, I could tell you, honestly, when this first got introduced to me, and this was during the transition of Anchor.fm really being, integrated into Spotify. I mean, Anchor.fm was, basically part of Spotify, but it was acting like its own thing. And over time, Spotify's like, hey, we're just going to integrate you into our system, and we're going to name you after us. Basically, if you look up Anchor.fm, if you look it up and you click on it, you're still able to go to the website. When I go on my browser and I, press the A on the keyboard, the first thing that comes up is one of my possibilities to go to site-wise is Anchor. So when I click on that, it takes me automatically to Spotify, or to the now Spotify podcasting, or basically podcasters.spotify.com, if you will, or something like that. So it takes me there. It takes me there, here, if you're listening to it on Spotify. It takes me to this area, or when you click on the link in the description to help, support me at, it takes you there. Now, like I said, I was first introduced to this during that transitional period, because one time, I saw I was making some more money and everything, and it wasn't much. It was decent, because the catch is once you hit the double digits, you'll be able to cash out. Like if you need a little bit of cash, you'll be able to do that, and then if you keep that ambassador ads going, you should be able to basically make more money to cash out with over time. So I was noticing that I was making some money and everything, and then one day I noticed I made a little bit more, like there was a big jump increase. And I'm like, what is this? And I look, and I see that I had been eligible for ambassador ads. And when I looked it up, I found out that it helps me out in a major way. It helps me out more so from an advertising revenue perspective than just the average, revenue that you get through Spotify and podcasting, if you will. So yes, as of right now, and I know it sounds like I'm going all over the place talking about this, but as of right now, what that means for me, at least until the end of the month, is, basically, well, not the end of August, but the end of September 22nd, that is. What that means is during that time, I will be making a little extra cash on the side, along with now working with my sister at her job. Now, will that be helpful in the end? Absolutely. It will be helpful. But again, it's all dependent if I continue it. Because you see, the other catch in continuing this is I have to keep my followers around 100, if not above 100 followers via Spotify. That's right. It can't be iHeart. It can't be Google Podcast. It can't be Apple iTunes. It's got to be specifically Spotify. So if I could keep my followers through Spotify up to above 100 or around that, I will be able to keep basically this ambassador ad going for a long time, because financially it will be something that as we go into the fall season, into the holiday season, will be very beneficial in the end when it comes to, let's say, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, you name it. But that's basically why I wanted to come on here, to let you know that my BW Rosas Discussions podcast is now monetizing, and if you truly want to help me out and you want to have other places to listen to my my take on certain topics and stuff, go to BW Rosas Discussions podcast, and you'll be able to find a lot of stuff there. As a matter of fact, if I am correct, I am just one episode away from 825 episodes. That's right, 825. That's a lot. What does that mean? That means basically I'm 175 away from 1,000. That's what it means. But yeah, in just the span of a few years, and I've been doing this not that long, I am up to 825 podcasts. You know what that means? With all due respect to Solomonster, Jason Solomon of Solomonster Sounds Off, I have eclipsed him in episodes a lot quicker than he's garnered episodes. Now, I know he's got other things he does and all that, and he does it once a week, and that's fine. That's his choice. And he has other revenues of, or not revenues, but avenues, I should say, of revenue. That's what I was trying to say. He has other avenues of revenue. So that's good on his part. But honestly, that shows you how dedicated, or at least I've tried to be dedicated to making this, a reality. To be like a second place to get my thoughts out about stuff, audio or video-wise, because you could also watch and listen to video on Spotify podcast. Basically, again, like I said, it shows you how dedicated I'm trying to be to this, because it gives me another place. And another place to, basically showcase my talents as well as give my thoughts on things, and another place for you guys to listen to and watch what I have to say. So, first of all, I do want to thank you guys that have tuned into BW Rosas Discussions podcast, my podcast, BW Rosas Discussions. It's really greatly appreciated, and I hope you continue to do so, and even give word of mouth to those that have yet to try out the podcast. Give them a taste of it. Let them know, hey, check this guy out, and I guarantee you they might find something out of these 825 episodes, if you will. Maybe even 825 plus now by the time you listen to the ones going up, as of this one. And even afterwards, I guarantee you they might find something they like. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Again, thank you for the support. And until then, I will talk to y'all later.